It was 7:42 p.m. when she texted me, "Hey babe, heading to Emily's. She's having a rough night. I might stay over. Don't wait up. Love you." I stared at the screen for a while, thumb hovering over the reply. I typed okay, give her a hug from me, and hit send. Simple, supportive, the kind of message a trusting husband sends. The kind of man I always tried to be. But I didn't feel trusting. Not anymore. Because here's what she didn't know. I was already parked outside Emily's house. It wasn't the first time she'd told me she was going there. Maybe the fourth or fifth this month alone. Emily had apparently become her therapist, her escape, her emotional lighthouse. I never questioned it, until I noticed the pattern. Same nights, same hours, same distracted tone when I'd ask her how things were going. And Emily? She didn't mention anything the last time I ran into her at the farmer's market. Nothing about rough nights. Nothing about needing support. Just cheerful small talk and a glance that didn't quite meet my eyes. So I decided to test something. Not to accuse her, not yet. Just see for myself. That evening, I left work a little early, skipped dinner, and drove straight to Emily's. Her porch light was on. Lights inside the living room flickered from what I assumed was the TV. A soft glow spilled out onto the driveway. I waited 10 minutes, watching the front door, hoping, dreading, that I'd see my wife walk up the steps. She didn't. I sat in the car for another 10 minutes. Still nothing. Finally, I got out, walked up to Emily's door, and knocked. She answered in sweatpants, socks, and a loose bun. No surprise there. What did surprise me was the hesitation in her smile. That brief flicker of confusion before she said, "Hey, what are you doing here?" "I was just passing by. Thought I'd check in. Is Rachel here yet?" Her face dropped like I'd asked the wrong question on purpose. And maybe I had. "No, she's not. Why would she be?" I didn't answer right away. Just let the silence hang there between us, thick and strange. "She said she was coming to see you." Emily blinked. "Tonight." I nodded. Her expression hardened, just for a second. A twitch in the corner of her mouth, like she wanted to say something but decided not to. "Maybe she got held up," she offered. It wasn't convincing. Not even close. I thanked her and turned to go before she could say anything else. As I walked back to the car, I heard her close the door gently, like she didn't want it to slam and echo down the street. That drive home was quiet, but my mind was loud. I wanted to believe there was some innocent explanation. A mix-up, a surprise she was planning. Something. But the pit in my stomach said otherwise. It wasn't just the lie, it was how easy it came. Like muscle memory. By the time I walked into our house, I was calm again. That kind of calm that feels like standing on the edge of something high up. Dangerous. I didn't flip out. I didn't call her. I just sat in the dark living room, phone in hand, tracking her location through an old app we both forgot to delete. She wasn't at Emily's. She wasn't even near it. Her dot was downtown, near the river, somewhere close to that boutique hotel with the rooftop bar we used to go to when things were good between us. When she still reached for my hand without thinking. When the air between us didn't feel like a riddle I was constantly trying to solve. I zoomed in, watching the dot move slowly. She wasn't just lying. She was comfortable lying. That's what hurt the most. Not the possibility of cheating. Not the thought of someone else. It was that she had practiced this, crafted it. Picked the friend, picked the night. Picked the words that would keep me from asking too many questions. She trusted that I wouldn't push. That I'd smile and say, okay, like always. And I did. Until tonight. I didn't go there right away. I sat on the couch for maybe 30 minutes, watching the blinking dot on my screen hover above the hotel. It would shift slightly every few minutes, like she was pacing or changing locations within the building. Not enough to be random. Too deliberate to be anything else. And I just kept thinking, why here? We used to love that place. The rooftop had this ridiculous view of the skyline, like the city was reaching up to hold the stars. We'd spent anniversaries there. Her birthday once. We even slow danced on that deck one night. Just the two of us, because the jazz band had stayed late and played something soft. That memory stung, but not enough to stop me. I changed into jeans and a black jacket, something plain, something quiet. Didn't want to be seen right away if I didn't have to be. My reflection in the hallway mirror looked tired, older than I felt. The kind of face that's starting to understand what betrayal really looks like up close. The drive was quick. My hands didn't shake. My chest didn't pound. Just this strange numbness, like my body had already skipped ahead to the aftermath. When I reached the hotel, I didn't go through the main lobby. There's a back elevator that leads straight to the rooftop bar. One of the quirks I remembered from all those nights we'd gone there together. I used to joke that it was our secret entrance. Now it felt like the perfect way to slip into the truth without being noticed. The bar was buzzing when I stepped out. Soft music, laughter, glasses clinking. The city lights wrapped around the deck like they were part of the decor. I stayed near the back, half hidden by a tall potted plant, scanning the crowd. It didn't take long. She was there, at the far end of the rooftop, standing by the glass railing, drink in hand. Her hair pulled back like she always did when she wanted to look effortlessly elegant. She was laughing, smiling, at ease. And next to her was a man. Tall, clean-shaven, confident in that quiet way that made me instantly dislike him. He wasn't touching her, but he was close. Closer than I ever stood with Emily. Closer than you stand with someone who's just a friend. They talked like they were used to this. Like this wasn't new. I watched her tuck a strand of hair behind her ear. She used to do that when she was nervous. But here, it felt flirtatious. Practiced. She leaned in to say something and touched his arm. Just a second. Just enough. And I felt it. This thud in my chest that wasn't anger. It was something heavier. Grief, maybe. Or recognition. She was happy. Genuinely, undeniably happy. And it wasn't with me. I don't know how long I stood there. Could have been minutes. Could have been more. Nobody noticed me. I was just another shadow in the dark. Another man in a sea of stories unfolding on rooftops. Then she kissed him. Quick. Natural. Like it wasn't a decision at all. And that was it. Not the kiss. Not the man. Not even the lie. What broke me open was the ease of it. How familiar it looked. Like she'd done this before. Like this wasn't the first rooftop. Not the first night. Not the first excuse. I backed away before she saw me. Took the elevator down. Sat in my car for 20 minutes with the windows up, breathing like I'd just run a mile uphill. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel confused. I felt done. Because whatever we had, I wasn't in it anymore. I hadn't been for a while. I just didn't want to see it. But now I had. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at the edge of the bed, still dressed, staring at the soft outline of her pillow, still carrying the scent of the shampoo she always used, lavender and mint. It made me sick. Not because of her. Not because of what I saw. Because of how long I let myself believe she was still mine. She came home at 1:27 a.m. The front door clicked gently, the way it always did when she was trying not to wake me. I didn't move. I just listened as she set her keys on the counter, kicked off her shoes, and walked to the kitchen. Then I heard the fridge open, the sound of water pouring into a glass. Her sigh, soft, tired, satisfied. She thought she'd pulled it off. And a part of me wanted to let her have that. To keep pretending, let the lie run its course until it faded into whatever it was destined to become. But I couldn't. Not anymore. She walked into the bedroom just as I stood up. We locked eyes. I'll never forget the flicker in hers, that fraction of a second where she didn't know what version of me she was about to face. Hey, she said casual, almost sweet. I didn't want to wake you. I didn't answer. I just held out my phone, still open to the location tracking app, the dot hovering over the hotel. Her eyes didn't even flick to it. She knew. There was a pause, long, sharp, and then she dropped the act. Her shoulders sank. She sat at the edge of the bed, right where I'd been sitting all night. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered. The worst part? I believed her. Not because she hadn't meant it, but because I think she hadn't meant for me to ever find out. That was the plan. Keep it quiet. Keep me comfortable. Keep the house, the rhythm, the illusion. I sat across from her, in the chair by the window, and asked, how long? She didn't pretend to misunderstand. 5 months, she said. Since the conference in Chicago. I nodded. Why him? She looked up at me, then away. Because he listens. Because I don't feel like I'm disappointing him all the time. That one landed like a punch I didn't expect. Disappointment? I never yelled. Never accused. I gave her space. Trust. Support. But now, hearing it from her lips, I realized maybe that's not what she wanted. Maybe she wanted resistance. Friction. Something I never knew how to give. I didn't cheat because I stopped loving you, she added, barely above a whisper. I cheated because I started feeling like I didn't exist. That was the moment I stopped seeing her as a villain. She wasn't evil. She wasn't malicious. She was just lost. And so was I. We both let the silence grow between us until it was easier to fill it with strangers than to face each other. I stood up, walked to the closet, and pulled out the suitcase I hadn't touched in years. She watched me, but didn't stop me. She didn't cry. Neither did I. Some endings come with shouting, with slammed doors and shattered glass. Ours came like a tide receding, quiet, slow, inevitable. I packed a few things, left the rest. I didn't want the house. Didn't want the furniture we picked out together or the wedding photo above the mantel. I wanted distance. Space to rebuild whatever was left of the man who used to smile in that photo. Before I walked out, I turned back one last time. I wish you'd just told me, I said. Her voice cracked. I was afraid if I said it out loud, it'd be real. It already was, I replied. You just let me believe it wasn't. She nodded. And that was it. I walked out into the early morning air, suitcase rolling behind me, sky just beginning to lighten with the hint of a new day. There was no dramatic goodbye, no final kiss. Just quiet footsteps down a driveway I used to shovel in winter, past flower beds I helped her plant in spring. I didn't know where I was going. Not exactly, but I knew I wasn't going back.